So, it's that time of year again with the Scottish Premiership Predictions. So, we'll go from dead last up to the champions, plus with who I think will be the top goal scorer, the sign of the season, and all stuff like that. So, starting off in dead last is the teams that have got 12th, 11th, and 10th. It could be a genuine toss-up with those three. I've went with St Mirren though, because I look at their signings, I look at who they've lost. I just think, especially with last season, it was just not a good season, and they still had like so Jack Alwick. You had McAllister was quite good for them. McCarthy, that was a good central defender for them. You had Oscar Ronan, who was on loan, is now back at Wolves. I look at their signings like User Gallagher, O'Hara, Gerald Carson, three other players' names I can't even fucking pronounce. I don't even want to try and pronounce, because I know I can't fucking pronounce. I don't want St to go down, because I love Stephen Robinson, obviously Motherwell fan. Gaffer for I think it was 3.5 years, 4.5 years or something like that. I just took us to 2 cup finals in Europe and all this. It was just, I don't want to see him get relegated, to have a relegation on the CV, but I think out of the three that I've got down the bottom for scrapping, I think it will be St Mirren at the end of the day. 11th I've gone with Kilmarnock. I think, looking at who they've brought in, you've got Jordan Jones back, you've got Liam Donnelly, Alan Power, Gary Woods. It's not really, don't think they've really lost anyone either, but I don't care that they've got Derek McInnes as an experienced manager in the Premiership. It's like, I look at that squad and I think it's just shit. I just don't think it's good enough. There was a reason they got relegated in the first place, and the only reason they're back up in the Premiership was because I both bottled promotion at the latter stages. I think depending on who's in the playoffs, if a both, it'd be quite funny if it was a both who end up facing Cali in the playoffs coming out of the season, because then that would be quite funny. Of kind of being like a fuck you, a revenge type of, you stole the title from us and we couldn't get promoted, so relegate you and come up yourself. But I think Kelly will, if it's not a both, I think Kelly will survive through the playoffs, but I think he'll probably be through the playoffs or straight down. 10th, I've went with Ross County. I think with losing Charles Cook is a massive loss with the numbers, especially since you've not been able to reinvest that. You've lost one free transfer. It wasn't like you signed him for, sold him for $1 million or $2 million and got money back to then reinvest that. You've just got his wages back, which maybe were like £600-700 a week, and that was probably it. The signings, I don't really know about the signings at all. I don't really know. But I think with Charles Cook's numbers, it'll be a big struggle, I think, this season. You lost Blair Spittle, Harry Payton, I'm pretty sure. There'll be big losses, and I don't think they'll be in and around like a top 6 finish again. But I don't think they'll go down. I think it'll probably be, we see they'll be lingering a wee bit, but come March, April time, will be like kind of 10 to 12 points clear. I think they'll kind of be going into the split kind of like, right, we're kind of just kind of secure safety and try and nick maybe like 7th or 8th. With 9th, I've went with Livingston. I think was Alan Forrest and Craig Sibbald. They've got, I think, Stryjek is still, I think, on a spat because he wants to leave. Last season, they arguably should have got top 6 instead of us, but they were just, I think, they're a bit lacklustre at times. With the signings, I don't really know with them either. Who the fuck they are? I'll be blatantly honest. I don't know who the fuck any of their signings are this season. But straight to the point, I think we'll get ninth. I don't think their squad is capable. I think since losing Jeremiah Thomas and others for the numbers, I just don't think they'll get or even be in contention of the top 6. 8th place, I went with my club Motherwell. I think for us, obviously we're now needing a new manager. We sacked Graham Alexander after a shocking 2022 and shocking European performances. Signing Spittle, McGinn, Josh Morris. Not really lost any significant. We've lost like so. Well, Willie's probably the biggest one. I think supposedly he wasn't settled in Scotland. I think it was more if he just wasn't getting the game time. I think he deserved. I think it was just. I think under Alexander, I would actually says probably 11th. Hopefully, we'll get someone that wants to play football, get the ball down, play it about, direct, get wingers into the squad, and go for it. Go back to what we done under Stephen Robinson and the early stages of Alexander. Direct, flanks, fucking go for it. Obviously, we're right at the back end of the window now. By the time I'm recording this, is the 8th of August, and this probably won't go up to maybe about in around the 15th, 17th, I don't know. Just because I've got other videos I want to try and get out before this, we could easily have a manager in. This will be going up pretty much after the Aberdeen game, so hopefully we haven't been scalped. I'm hoping we haven't. Usually Kevin Van Veen turns into Prima 9 against Aberdeen and scores a goal or two or gets an assist with a goal. So hopefully that happens again, but I'm not confident. I think 8th place, depending on who the manager is, I don't want Stevie Hamill being the permanent. I think with the inexperience, I'd rather have someone else. Maybe we've got Paul Lambert's name bouncing about, Big Dunk. I don't even know who the fuck else, I'll be honest. I've not even looked. Probably the first time I've actually not properly looked at the club, I think, pretty much because I was away on holiday when Alexander was sacked. I've not actually really gave a fuck. But I have to wait and see if we get maybe like a Paul Lambert in, get a couple of wingers in, and maybe another 2 defenders. It will be a big push, especially being this late on in the window. I'd be more than happy enough to see a top 6 finish with Paul Lambert. I know his style of play can be a bit shocking at times with a 4-4-2, but I know he can get the ball down, get the ball popping, and do quite well, but we'll need to wait and see. 7th, I've went with Hibs. I think with Lee Johnson, the signings they've made, Martin Boyle's back. Obviously they've lost Doig, Macy, McGinn, Murphy, to right. But they've signed a fair few players. I think 7th, with a better style of football, what Sean Maloney had. Because I know Lee Johnson from his time at Bristol, Sunderland, watching the games, they do love to pop it about. Ultimately, it could be Hibs, and we know Hibs could easily just have a fucking shocker. It could either be a Neil Lennon first season and get Europe, or a Neil Lennon second season and be in a relegation scrap. Top 6 now, I've went with 6th place, St Johnstone. I think looking at the signings they've made, with Graham Carey, Murphy, Wright, Constantine, Matthews, they have lost Sean Rooney, Callum Hendry, Xander Clark. I think it's going to be one of those, but I think the majority of the signings are new. I'll actually check because obviously we've just been beaten for them. But I'm pretty sure I think Cameron McPherson also. I think most of the squad now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. I think it's a full new starting 11. You guys got How big was I think might have joined in January, I'm not actually sure. He did actually join in January, so that's my fault. Kevin McPherson, did you join in January? He did also join in January. Yeah, it looked like he was on loan before. It was pretty much looking like a full of a youngster, Ryan McGowan. I'm pretty sure. Were you there in January also? No, he's just a new recent signing. I do remember you for your Hearts days. It's pretty much a full new team, but I think the way they play against us on Saturday, they weren't really inspiring. We definitely were battering it. We should have lost that game ultimately. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right now, what is it? That's a bit loud. But, yeah, I think 6th place for St John's will pretty much be there. 5th place, I've went with Aberdeen. I think with a sight, I'll be honest, I don't want to say Aberdeen because I would rather say us and hope that we can get back into Europe. But I think with the signings they've made, they've obviously lost Calvin Ramsey, lost Ferguson, Considine, a couple of shit players in Declan Gallagher, Emmanuel Thomas, and whoever else. It's more of just, I think, the players they've brought in, obviously I don't know a lot about them, but it's more like, you've got to the club a wee bit, you've got a bit of revenue, you've fucked out the shit players, or a fair amount of the shit players, and you've brought in players that are fresh, that have got a point to prove, that want to basically get the next step in their career, and they might walk out. I think Jim Goodwin's a decent manager, I think his style of football can be quite good, and I think Aberdeen go back to the top half finish this season. Maybe not Europe, maybe just 6th place, but I would say at least a top half finish. 4th place, I've went with Dundee United. The only real loss is Seagrass. They have signed Levitt on a permanent, Fletcher, Sibbald, McGrath, Middleton. I think 4th place they'll get again. I think if they get 1 or 2 more players, maybe another central defender, and maybe another kind of maybe midfield, like advanced midfielder or attacker, I think they might push Hearts for 3rd. 3rd, I put Hearts, as I've just said, literally split seconds. I think it depends on who they still bring in. I think Lloyd St John Souttar's a big loss, obviously. I think what was it? Can't even say his name. Jamie Walker, I think. McNev, I think's went back on loan, I think it was. They've obviously Shanklin, Forrest, Grant, Alex Cochrane on a permanent. I was like, I think they could easily comfortably get 3rd. I don't think, unless Dundee United strengthen a bit more, I think it'll probably be like last season. It'll be top 2, Hearts, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. I think the league could then be between 4th to then 8th is just like that tight. It could then be like last season where going into the last 2 games it was like 2 points separated 4th and 8th or 9th, I think it was. So, only do that. Moving on to the top 2. By the thumbnail, it's obviously taking the piss. I will take the piss away by the thumbnails because it's YouTube. I genuinely don't see Rangers winning the league. I think they'll finish 2nd. I think I'm trying to look around for where I've wrote their players down. They've obviously signed Suter, Ben Davies, Yilmaz, Kolak, Matondo, Lawrence and Tillman. Some of them are good signings. I don't think Matondo's a good signing. I don't think Lawrence is a good signing. Tillman we don't really know about. They've lost Bassey, Aribo, Hatton, Balogun. I think with Celtic, I think they'll walk the league Celtic. I'm genuinely saying this. I think unless Rangers can get in a proven goal scorer to combat Root, come on the move, and I felt Morelos' injury record recently, or very recent, I don't see them. They'll press and they'll push. Unless Kolak hits the ground fucking running and is just scalping cunts, I think Celtic run away with this league. And moving on to Celtic, they've made Jota, Carter Vickers a permanent. They've made Maida permanent. They've signed Seagrass as a backup. They've signed Aaron Moy. They've signed Jens, which I don't know. I've not seen him yet. He scored on the weekend, just gone. It's because I've got something on telly that now. That's what the fuck. If they sign, I would say, go with another fullback, central defender, an attacker, and I think they could comfortably get a 100-point season. You need another attacker for when Jota needs a break, when Kyogo needs a break. You need some players that can link up. Obviously you've got Abada, Maida, whatever the fuck else. But you need more options. You've also got Mortgage, which Aaron Moy might be that replacement. I don't think he will be. I think Turnbull, this is a season for him to step up. You see during the COVID year, when Celtic was shit, but he was still getting goals, assists, performances. If Turnbull can step up, if Aaron Moy can show us Brighton performances, his Brighton career at Celtic, I think this might be a dominant Celtic side, ultimately. Now, moving on to the signings and all that. Top goal scorer, I think it's going to be Jota. I think this cunt is, for what's a £6-7 million, fuck me, that is going to be a player that Celtic could easily sell on in a season or two time for, I would say, if anything less than 30 to 35 million they get for Jota, it's a scam. I genuinely believe Jota is a proper player. He's what I love in a winger. He's mad like a winger. He's like direct, got a bit of skill, pure pace, eye for goal, creative, doesn't shit out of stuff. He's a mix between an old school winger and a new school winger. He's gonna graft his bollocks off, but he's also got that flair to him that is just. When I've went to Parkhead and watched Celtic play and went there when I was Motherwell playing and on TV and at Full Park, it's just, there's something about this kid that is just mental. Honestly, it's just mental. Top assistant, I've went with James Tavernier. I think he'll pretty much just be, he has just got to absolutely rattle cross into the box. He'll be creative, he'll be pretty much the outlet. If you stop Tavernier, you probably stop Rangers completely this season. I think manager of the season, Postecoglou. I think whoever wins the league gets manager of the season, as I said with Premiership Predictions. Player and signing of the season, Jota. I think this will be, if Celtic are to win the league and to run away with it, it's going to be down to Diogo Jota. He is a player that, I'm not a Celtic fan, but he is levels above anyone in this league. Flop of the season, I've went with Matondo. I've watched him at Schalke. I'm pretty sure he's been in the English game, and I've seen him there. I just don't think he's a good signing. I know he's young, but I just think he's shite. I just think he's pish. I'll probably get proven wrong, and he'll probably, first time we play Rangers, he'll probably come off as a super sub like Pitton did, and score a couple of goals like he's a fucking prick like Sakala does. Overachievers, I genuinely say Aberdeen. I mean overachievers as in 5th place. I think they could easily push for 4th, but I think with the way that they have been, obviously last season was a shock to the system. I think you've kind of seen it coming. not really replacing players, not really strengthening. I don't really know if the players will have an immediate bounce with losing Ferguson and Gavin Ramsey, which are two very key players to them over the past couple of past season and that. I would say overachieving for them. I'm not saying overachieving from going from like relegation scrap to pretty much Europe, but I think more along the lines of, I think realistically, a 6th or 7th place finish, I think 5th is just because it's Europe. I think 5th, like 6th or 7th is probably more a thing. I know it's only a place or two, but it's because the difference between not getting Europe and getting Europe. Underachievers. Now, maybe a bit of bias here, but I have went with Motherwell Club. I think with last season, of how we walked up to the winter break, 4th place, running away with it, I think we were 3 or 4 points off Hearts, pushing for 3rd. If we should have strengthened severely in January, we should have went and signed 3 or 4 players, and it was just shit, it was just not good. We went downhill, Alexander refused to fucking make the changes, you've had fallouts with Slattery, O'Donnell, other players, tactically inept, just refusing to change. Took us till I think it was end of April it was, to our first league win, which that should have been a fucking sackable offence. I don't care that we got Conference League. Now we've only made 3 signings and it's been bollocks, and we've now sacked them because of we didn't prepare. Sligo Rovers, they were 23-24 games into the league season. We'd only signed 3 players. We had we had a bounce game in Austria, a friendly against Partick. What the fuck does that say? For preparing you for a Europa League, another Europa League conference fucking game, but still a European game against a team that is already more than halfway through their season. Fireman, I don't even know what the fuck Sligo are in the league. We'll take this up to now. I genuinely don't know what will happen. I think we'll underachieve this season, depending on the manager. They're 5th. They're fucking... the mid-table. Fuck's sake. That makes it worse. It's not like Shamrock Rovers or something, because I'm pretty sure Shamrock are top of the Irish League. Oh, sorry, I'll finish up on that. Yeah, Shamrock Rovers by 6 with a game in hand over Dundalk and Derry. I'll finish on that because I've gone a rant on for ages. If you did enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave in the comments your predictions. I've went through that, I've went through the signings and everything. It is the 8th of August, so anything could change with signings, but that's what I believe. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!